Alright, hi everyone, my name is Josie. Today I'm going to be talking about something I really love, and it's the topic of video essays. Yeah, I think it's ever so relevant in our generation today. I just want to highlight what makes video essays unique, also compare their traits to those of documentaries. As someone who loves watching video essays and documentaries, but mostly video essays, I just thought this would be a super fun project to do, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. And yeah. Okay, first I want to give you guys some context on what a video essay is. First off, you're watching one right now, and they're usually longer in length. They don't necessarily have to be, but they usually are. They're part documentary, part opinionated. It's all entertaining, but it's supposed to be educational in some way, teach you some kind of topic. They're carefully created to engage with the Gen Z audience. I know that as Gen Z, my attention span at least is very low, so we're used to the scrolling habits and stuff, but video essays just make this a little bit easier and more digestible than documentaries, so I think that's a reason why they're so popular right now. But sometimes video essays relate to pop culture, sometimes they're history topics, sometimes they're science topics, sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're serious, and sometimes it's both because, you know, Gen Z and their love of dark humor. But today I'm going to be asking this question: how do video essays differ from documentaries, and how does this different type of media engage with Gen Z audiences better? To explore this topic, I chose 2 video essays and 2 documentaries on 2 different topics. So, as a history nerd and a physics major currently, I chose the topic of Oppenheimer and the atomic bomb. I chose the video essay from the deep dive, and I chose the documentary Oppenheimer, the real story. The other topic I chose is a little bit more relevant. It's the topic of consumerism, and I chose the video essay Our Consumer Society by Then and Now, and I chose the documentary Buy Now on Netflix. I focused on analyzing 3 key aspects that I thought were going to be relevant in both video essays and documentaries. Those are structure, multimedia elements, and tone/jargon. To study these genres, I made this mega table of all of the categories and all of the pieces of media I chose to analyze, and I sorted it and went through this table and added each element and took notes on each. I was able to draw some conclusions and differences between the video essays and documentaries. But before I get too ahead of myself and overwhelm you with that mega table again, let's look at the results. Yeah, this was a time-consuming process, but I did actually enjoy it. It was somewhat therapeutic, but basically I went through these several times to make sure I didn't miss anything, and just to make sure I watched the videos and documentaries fully. Through this process, it did reveal some key differences in structure, multimedia elements, and tone. As far as structure goes, video essays and documentaries are actually not all that different. They both have an introduction, a conclusion, and a body with like sections, just like how a written essay would. Video essays often utilize YouTube's chapters feature. There's hyperlinks for each section. It just makes the sections really clear, which I enjoy this because sometimes I want to go back to a section like, oh, I didn't fully get that. I can just click a button. I don't have to scroll through the times. Though documentaries don't have this feature, they do use sometimes a 3-act structure like the Oppenheimer documentary, or sometimes they do sections in more of a cohesive like story flow like the Buy Now documentary did. The next essential element of these is multimedia. Multimedia can be a combination of different things. It can be video footage, photos, newspaper clippings, audio recordings, music. Basically anything audio-visual that you can think of is probably a multimedia element. Both documentaries and video essays utilize these. It's what makes them engaging, what makes you want to watch them. All 4 pieces of media that I analyzed had montages, photos, music, voiceovers, and captions. One big difference between documentaries and video essays is that documentaries like to use interviews. In the Buy Now documentary, it was interviews from ex-corporate elites. In the Oppenheimer documentary, it was historians. Sometimes they'll use radio archives as well, and newspaper clippings. Video essays, like this one, often include clips of the narrator speaking, so like how I am speaking here, and sometimes they'll be sitting at a desk, sometimes they'll be in a set, but a lot of times they're more casual, so they'll just be in a space that the person is usually in. So for me, it is my room. Video essays also like to use quotes, and often they'll put these both in written text on the screen as well as a voiceover speaking them. And sometimes they'll use methods to emphasize important information. Like in the deep dive video, Eric Voss likes to circle parts in the script that are important to what he's talking about. Sometimes video essays include social media clips, memes, pop culture topics, a lot more relevant information to Gen Z just to make it more relatable. And what I like to say is words are to a traditional essay as multimedia is to a video essay or documentary. Tone is an interesting characteristic because it will definitely vary depending on topic. Often, however, there is a pattern that video essays will carry a more enthusiastic, casual approach, kind of like how I'm just sitting here in this chair in my room. Often video essays are a lot more casual, humorous sometimes, conversational. They're just more chill. While documentaries are usually a bit more formal, sometimes serious, probably because they're institutionally sponsored. They have to be a higher level of credibility. They can't be as lax as I am sitting here in my room right now. However, in my findings, I found that the video essay, Our Consumer Society, actually acted more like a documentary in terms of tone. It carried a bit more serious aspect. There was little to no humor in it. I just thought it was interesting how the tone was very similar to a documentary, whereas all the other elements were geared more towards a video essay. This could have been a stylistic choice for the narrator. It is also probably dependent on the topic. This creator was definitely talking about a more historical background of consumerism. But even for a topic as serious and scientific as Oppenheimer and the atomic bomb, the deep dive used Christopher Nolan's film as kind of a method of pop culture relatability, meaning this video could have a more enthusiastic and casual cadence to it. Okay, so I think you guys can kind of see some conclusions that I'm drawing here, so let's discuss what we can learn from all this. So why are video essays resonating with Gen Z while traditional documentaries are taking a back seat? Gen Z is the generation that ditched cable TV for the more accessible thing we have here, which is everything on our phones. We have all this educational media and entertainment at the tips of our fingers with just one click. And now more than ever, it's so easy to access information. Through the YouTube platform alone, we can access thousands and millions of videos at the click of a button. But what is grabbing Gen Z's attention? I think it's the geniuses that are video essay creators. They have learned to format any type of information to fit the needs and the accommodations of the Gen Z audience. And they'll do this through using a combination of multimedia elements. So I want to read about this professor, Susan Cardillo. She did a study that showed how video production could be a tool for student learning. She had her students create mini documentaries containing archival footage, interviews, aerial shots, etc., which finished in a 20-minute long project, which is curated to the Gen Z attention span, a shorter time period. From this, we learned that if you combine several of these elements at once into a concise project, you can stimulate the audience's mind and open up an environment for learning and engaging in conversations that students wouldn't be engaging in otherwise. On this note of learning, it is not uncommon to find video essays a part of classroom teaching nowadays. When teachers use a familiar genre like YouTube, scientific knowledge seems to reach people in a more entertaining and motivating way. I think one way that creators make this engaging is through the connection of these multimedia elements and the content of the video with the tone that they use. Like I said earlier, video essays are often in a more enthusiastic, casual, humorous tone, which might actually resonate with younger students right now, unlike documentaries that take a slower, more formal approach, which is less digestible by these young students. One quick disclaimer I wanted to make about tone is that topic is very important and heavily influences what tone is used. So I just wanted to note that tone shouldn't be compromised in order to maintain respect for these more serious topics. Video essays and documentaries share the main purposes of informing, entertaining, critiquing, and sometimes persuading. A lot of video essays do have underlying tones of persuasion. Video essay creators and documentary producers are smart, and they have the choice to create a product that satisfies one of these. They'll use the engagement tools they have through multimedia elements and tone to do so. James McDowell explains in his work tying millennial socialism to YouTube video essays by describing, if creators are to attract the desired, ideologically uninitiated viewers, these pop culture references must at least have the potential for mainstream, which frequently means conservative, appeal. When tone, multimedia, and structure are all manipulated in one way, they can come and serve a purpose such as persuading, and the video essay creator can accomplish their agenda and their purpose. Don't get me wrong, it's not always political or of ill intent or as thorough as trying to convert your viewers to socialist politics, for example. But a video essay creator might just hope to contribute to a discourse of a larger conversation, possibly surrounding pop culture, science, or history. As a lighter example, some may agree that YouTube and the comments that YouTube generates constitutes an important social context for understanding public understandings of climate change and its mitigation technologies. Video essays and these documentaries have the opportunity to raise these discourses and get people interested in talking about important things in our world today. So why do video essays even exist if there's already documentaries out there? And can't they just make documentaries that are for a Gen Z audience? So I was asking these same questions. That's exactly what video essays are doing. They're creating a more accessible, engaging environment for Gen Z audiences on a platform that they're already on all the time. I like to think of video essays as like a revamped documentary, which is shaped by the needs and the habits of such a digital generation as Gen Z. It blends education with creativity, and not only are the viewers learning, but the creators learn and get to become experts in a topic that they're interested in. By blending education and creativity, video essays are redefining how we share knowledge and start conversations. The documentary, a genre that's existence has predated the iPhone, has received a Gen Z rebrand, which is the YouTube video essay. Maybe it's in an effort to ditch the constant scrolling habits on TikTok and Instagram, but maybe it is Gen Z's desire to learn more about the world around them. But either way, now more than ever, we are turning to informational media through YouTube video essays. The documentary I Am Gen Z analyzes the effect of a generation growing alongside powerful technology. They explain Gen Z's mass intake of information in efficient, fast-paced, bite-sized little pieces through TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, tweets, etc. Unlike these short-form videos, video essays offer longer-form content containing necessary context, important stories, critical conversations, historical truths, and freedom of expression, all while still catering to Gen Z's shorter attention span, media literacy, and just their lifestyle of such a digital generation. Video essays are a form of meeting Gen Z where they are while still educating them and informing them on the world around them. This cross-section of documentary media with the endless opportunities of the YouTube platform have created a genre that helps satisfy our human need to learn more about the people in the world around us. So with that, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. I encourage you guys to all go out and watch a YouTube video essay today. Thanks for listening.